If your golf swing and your shots feel like they're all over the place, it's actually probably not your swing. It's what you're doing right before you start your swing. That's why I've developed what we call the PGA, the posture, grip, and alignment process that you can do in 10 seconds that can help you get started in the right direction. So when we swing the golf club, what you're gonna notice is that a lot of the key components of making a good golf swing start before you actually even move the golf club. So let's break this down. We're gonna start with the grip, okay, then we're gonna work into posture, and then we're gonna work into alignment. All right, so I'm a right-handed golfer, so we're gonna talk about lead hand, which is my left hand, trail hand, which is my right hand. Now, the first thing that I want you to do when you grip the golf club, and this is a nice little golden nugget for you here, is that I want you to just stand nice and tall. And when you stand kind of nice and tall, like this, what you'll notice is that your arms just kind of naturally fall down to your sides. Now, here's the key. When I look down at my lead hand right now, my left hand, I can see roughly about 2 knuckles. Okay, so the first thing that I want you to do in this process, before you swing the golf club, is always grip the club over on the side like this, okay? Versus having the club in front and then placing your hand on the golf club. Now, why is that? Well, we just touched on it. See, when your arm just naturally falls, it falls into the right position for you to place your hands on it. So once you grip it over here on the side, and then you bring it up towards the front, now I can see roughly 2 to 2.5 knuckles, and that's what we would consider a neutral lead hand grip. All right, now a couple other things on this, and then we're going to talk a little bit about posture. When you're gripping it over here on the side, what I also want you to do is take your lead thumb, left thumb for me, okay, and just feel like you kind of slide it up just a little bit like this. Notice how I'm doing that? I'm kind of actually just sliding it up here. Now when you do that, what you're going to notice is that when the thumb kind of slides up, it kicks the club a little bit more down into the fingers, and that's a key component to getting your lead hand on the club correctly. All right, so we've got that lead hand on there. We're gripping it over here on the side. Let's finish the process right now. What we're going to do then is just go ahead and bring it up front, and then we're going to take our trail hand and just kind of bring it in like this. Now, let me go ahead and demonstrate it down the line here, the simulator. So this is my target. All right, I got this nice golf course set up here. Nick set it up for me. What do you think about this, Nick? Good setup? Okay, good. Nick gave us a thumbs up. Make sure you give us a thumbs up, and be sure to tell us where you're from. It's one of our favorite things is we love hearing where you're from. So now that the club is in the lead hand correctly, let's go ahead and bring it up front, and all you're going to do is take your palm and just have it face the target. So I've got the white flag there in the background on the simulator. My palm just goes towards the target. Now I've got my hands in a good position. Now, there are other things in the grip that I didn't talk about, but we cover all that in our book, The Bad Lie. You can check that out. But the main thing here is that we want to get those hands relatively in a good position. All right, now, that is the grip. Let's talk about posture. Okay, now when we talk about posture, what we're talking about is the angle of the body, the hip bend, the knee bend, all those types of things. So I've got the hybrid out here right here. So here's what I want you to do. When you set up, you got to grip it over here on the side, bring it up front, boom. Okay, hand comes in like that. Now what you're going to do is start with your feet together, and you're just going to go ahead and tilt like such and place the club on the ground. Let me just go ahead and get set up. Then I'm going to give you a little process that you can go through to kind of find this spot. So when you're in a good posture position, meaning you have the right amount of knee bend and hip bend, what you're going to notice is that your hands just kind of naturally fall on the club like so, right? So if I was standing like this, okay, that's not very good. That doesn't match up, right? If I'm in too close, that doesn't match up either. So a nice little checkpoint for you, if you're videotaping yourself down the line like we have here, is to just go ahead and grip it, let go of the club with your trail hand. It should fall right back into that spot like it is there. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, okay, that's great, but how do I find that spot? Well, let's go through that. Much like we did with the grip and gripping it over here on the side, we got a little process for you to find that. So here's what you can do. What you're going to do is just stand up nice and tall, okay, and just kind of get your feet about shoulder width apart. And all you're going to do is just take your hands, okay, and just kind of slide them down, okay, slide them down your thighs. Let your knees bend a little bit until your fingertips touch your kneecaps. Let me just do it again. So I stand nice and tall, give a little bit of knee bend, slide my hands down my thighs until they touch my kneecaps. Now that is pretty much the posture positions that I'm looking for. So once again, down the line in the posture, we want enough knee bend and enough hip bend so that our hands just naturally fall below our shoulders. All right, so we've So we've completed two parts of it. We've talked a little bit about the grip. We've talked a little bit about the posture. Let's talk about the alignment. Now, I've got this shot right here, all right? So we can see the white flag in the distance right there. So when it comes to alignment, this is one of the core key concepts of the vertical line swing. The first system, in our experience anyhow, truly developed for older golfers, but although, quite frankly, it works for all golfers. One of the things that we look for in the vertical line swing is an aim, an alignment that's slightly to the right of the target for a right-handed golfer, what we call slightly closed. All right, so let me go ahead and grab an alignment rod here. And what I want you to do, then we're going to kind of tie all this together. At the end, we're just going to do a little 10-second kind of process or sequence that ties all this together to get you dialed in before you start to swing that golf club. So here we go. If this is my target line, right here, pointed right at the flag there in the distance, I want your toes, your hips, and your shoulders to be ever so slightly closed or to the right of the target. So let me just go ahead and do that. So here we go. I'm set in here. When I take a step towards the target and I step away from the target, my trail foot is going to work back just a little bit. See how I did that? So I'm not stepping straight back. I'm stepping back, but also slightly away from the target. Now, here's the key. When you're set in there, your stance is ever so slightly closed, but the club face is still aimed at the target line. Let me say that again. My feet, hips, and shoulders are ever so slightly closed, but the club face, we get this question a lot, the club face is pointed at the target. So let me go ahead and set in there, and then we're going to kind of tie all this together. So my feet are a little closed, okay, but the club face is at the target line. Okay, I got that one a little bit on the toe. I hit it pretty far, but it had a little bit of hook to it, didn't it? But you get the idea. Hit a little bit on the toe. When you hit them on the toe, they can hook just a little bit. All right, so we call it the PJ. So let's bring this all together. All right, let's bring this all together. Let's simplify it in a really quick and easy step process. Let me go ahead and put another ball in place, see if I can hit one nice and straight. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and stand nice and tall, grip it on the side, bring it up front, trail hand comes in, boom, feet together, little knee bend, tilt at the hip, step towards, and as you step away, step back from the target line just a little bit. Now I've got the good grip, I've got the good posture, I've got the good alignment, I've got my PGA dialed in there. Okay, that one was a little bit better. All right, that little process right there can help you get lined up correctly and help you hit some good quality golf shots. Now that we've got your PGA dialed in, check out my next video. And if you want to personally work with me and our team on your game, check out BLScoaching.com.